Friday. In tonight's Foolishness Files, police never know what they find when they catch up with a suspect. This guy in Florida was arrested for armed robbery. And no, he had not been hiding in the mud. Deputies say Trenton Richardson was exfoliating his face at home when they put him in handcuffs with his facial mask still on. Deputies also noticed a charming tattoo across his chest in which he uses a four-letter word to describe how he feels about the police. Well, now he can express himself behind bars. I guess even suspected thieves need to take care of their skin. Say it with me, folks. Straight up. Foolishness!
I'm over here shaking my head. David Paul is about to fall on the floor laughing.
Clearly, it was a cucumber mint mask.
The green. The green part of the mask was the giveaway. It's the mint.
Gently exfoliates.
I have nothing to add.
Moisturizes as well.